words to describe Young Life would probably be nurturing.
Good news.
Unexplainable. Eye-opening.
Inclusive. Blessed.
Relationships.
The word free.
Welcoming. Beautiful.
Surprising.
Family.
Life-changing.
Because this is the time that these kids need good news. We have the good news of Jesus. We have the good news that there are people around them that love them and support them. We have the good news that you guys are out there willing to come to a banquet and to support them. And it's just, that's why I think about when I think about Wildlife is that this is good news for all these kids. We have 200 kids coming to hear about Christ at Eastwood every other Friday. And that's my word, good news.
I choose welcoming just because it really doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. It's just when you are there, everyone is accepting of you, not just the leaders, but also like the students who go there too. It's everyone's welcome there.
You think of the word beautiful, what is beautiful? And I think one of the most beautiful things in the world is someone who has Christ living and abundant in their lives.
High school is a really hard time, like for a lot of people. It's really stressful, it's really, people are mean, but, you know, I think Young Life kind of keeps you grounded and keeps you where you need to be, and so really blessed to be a part of Young Life.
I chose that word because not only do I see the leaders nurture the kids, but when you see what goes on with Young Life, you see one child may be nurtured one night, and then he may be the nurturer the next time around. So it's really cool when you see the kids adopt that role. They come in with certain needs early on, and then as they mature in Young Life and as they get more and more confident in Young Life, they will then nurture the other kids, their classmates. So that's why I chose that word. I think for me anyway, it describes Young Life to a T.
When I come to group on Wednesdays nights and we get together and we bring our kids and we cheer, we sing, we have fun, and then we get to gather in a big old circle and we get to share this stuff about ourselves, and I feel like that none of us has been judged, none of us is going to go back and talk about one another. I feel like it's just a family because we can open up to one another. We don't have to worry about no one saying, oh, that girl's a teen mom and all this and that. It's just an awesome atmosphere, and I feel like that I don't know, it's fulfilling. Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
It's so neat to see the relationships that are built between the Young Life kids and the leaders with the kids. But not only that, the relationships that develop with the committee members, the relationships that the kids themselves develop with each other, but most of all, the relationships that the kids develop with Jesus.
I never know what to expect when I show up at Club or Campaigners, which is our weekly Bible study. Club is just crazy and it's a huge party, and I never know what crazy game we're gonna do or what kid's gonna show up that I've never met before, who's gonna show up maybe that I haven't seen in a while. And Campaigners, our Bible study, is surprising because it's just amazing to hear what high schoolers have to share, and I feel like I'm always taken aback by that.
So this is at camp, my first year at camp, and we had only known Josh for 2 or 3 days then, so this is kind of our first big experience with him. But we were walking down to the docks to go tubing or something, and he hears someone running up behind him, and he thinks it's one of us to jump on him or something. That's something we would totally do. We do jump on you a lot. So he sticks his arm out to clothesline us, and it turns out to be some random summer staffer who's just trying to go do her job.
My favorite memory with Katie is actually with our whole Young Life cabin from Mimic to Windy Gap. After every Young Life club, we had cabin time, which is just where we sat down with the cabin and talked about just in depth what the speaker had talked about, and we missed the free time that was afterwards because we got so into the conversation and we were all crying, but it was good crying. and we just had a really fun time.
Vern was one of my leaders on our wilderness trip, which is like go off hiking in the mountains for a week. It's a 24-hour long bus ride. It really pushes your limits. And we were on the bus, either going or heading back from the trip, and he was sitting with me. And he said that he was going to move up to the front to meet some more friends, to make some more friends. So he got up, and as he was walking, I guess we hit a bump or something, or it might have just been his age, but he tripped and fell down and grabbed on this girl's hair. It was chaos.
My favorite memory with Mrs. Brazzi would have to be at camp at dinner time, because we would just sit around at our table with our cabin and just laugh, and she would always just make me happy and say jokes and stuff. It would just be funny.
My favorite experience with Steph is when I met her like 2 years ago at Castaway. She's the first adult that I ever opened up to, and it was through the one-on-ones when that happened. I'd never really talked to adults about my problems before because actually no one really asked about them, so I never really told anyone, and I just felt like no one cared because they didn't ask. And so during the one-on-one stuff, just like asked me about my life and opened up to me about her past life too, and it just like allowed me to see things differently, and I realized like someone does care about me, and so that was a pretty good experience.
The reason I'm a Young Life leader is because growing up, I was involved with Young Life. I know it definitely helped me with some of the tough things that I was experiencing throughout high school. And it's definitely not something you should experience by yourself. And there's just something about going through high school knowing that you have a Heavenly Father who's looking down and loves you and is there with you every day that just makes it a little bit easier and a little more bearable. And I just know the relationships that we make with these guys don't end when they graduate high school. They last forever. And I can honestly say some of my best friends are my Young Life.
I honestly feel like it's an honor, and I'm very privileged to be able to be these guys' Young Life leader and be the one that they go to share funny stories, or to go out and have fun, or to talk something through when they're having a rough time. And there's a lot that I learned as an adult just through those experiences. So it's something that I know is important, and I love to be that person and walk with them and grow with them in Christ, but also it's a joy and an honor for me to be able to be that and fill that role in my life.
Lucy makes this so easy. You make this so much fun for me. Sometimes it's very hard to get deep and have real conversations with people, and I feel like Lucy's my best friend. Like every time I see her, it's like, how are you? And not just the surface level, how are you? It's really, how are you?
I just think kids today, in this day and age, need Jesus as much as they can get him. And Young Life is a perfect avenue. I mean, there's relationship, there's hanging out, there's fun, and they get the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I don't think it's much better than Young Life. That's why I spend my time with these kids.
In the same way that we as leaders are disciples, we're teaching these kids to be disciples and to love others as Christ loves us. And when they go out and do that in the community, it's Jesus out there.
Even though my boys and I have a very close relationship, Wildlife Young Life gives them another male mentor in their lives. So I may be saying something to them and they don't quite get it. And John or James or some other leader will come and say the exact same thing to them. And it's like, wow, did you hear what John said? It's like, yeah, I've been saying that for a long time. But it's awesome when they finally get something and they come home and they share it with me. So as a parent, I love that we have other mentors.
Even though we have 4 kids and they're all young and several years away from the Young Life years, but we've still chosen to serve and know that there is a place for Young Life and a need for Young Life in our community. Because I think just the same desires we have as parents for our young kids. We want them to be known. We want them to be in right relationships with people and with God. And I really feel like Young Life is one of the most effective ministries to do that and to reach out to high schoolers and to middle schoolers. So I think in today's world, we see it with our young kids, and I can't imagine how even more so with middle schoolers and high schoolers, that they're faced with conflicting messages, false gods, false messages, false relationships, and I think Young Life offers truth. And so there's absolutely a place for truth in young people's lives.
Having had 3 kids go through it and seen that transformation, it's amazing, but even seeing the other kids is just as revealing as watching your own children do it, and that's why you want to give to Young Life. To see these kids that may be a little shy, maybe a little introverted, and over the course of the year they become more outgoing as they develop their skills, and it is just amazing. The kids learn that their past is their past, and that they can move forward through God's grace and start their new life. And so that's pretty amazing when you can have an organization that does that.
I'm a committee member because it has been exciting to be part of an organization and a ministry where you see lives transformed.
I'm a committee member and supporter because I believe in the vision. I believe that what Young Life is doing is important, and it's important for us to support good things. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is and supporting it.